It's the first Raw of 2020, and with the Royal Rumble just 3 weeks away, expect some big things to happen. Join us now as Wrestlelamia analyzes Raw and looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real reason why Lesnar is entering at number 1 in the Royal Rumble. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. First, let's look at the good. As number 1, an awesome announcement. Now, we pointed out how the WWE goes on autopilot in December, often holding off until the first week of January to build things up for the Royal Rumble. Although last week's Raw's only highlights seem to be the Lana Lashley wedding, there's no denying the WWE things got off to a spectacular start with the announcement that WWE Champion Brock Lesnar will enter the Royal Rumble. As big of an announcement as that was, Paul Heyman also declared that Lesnar will enter the Rumble at number 1. Whilst the belt isn't on the line, it's an interesting dynamic that WWE has introduced for this year. With several surprise returns rumoured for this year's Rumble, this may be one of the most exciting Rumbles in many years. We have only just one gripe. We wish that this could have been kept a secret until the Rumble, as most of us would have been floored to see Brock entering at number 1. But why? Why is Brock entering the Rumble, even though he's champion? Well, more on that later. Number 2, surprise, surprise, surprise. It's long been established that fans like well-crafted and logical surprises, as opposed to hotshot booking and Russo-esque swerves, so last night's Raw did a good job keeping fans in suspense. First was Samoa Joe's mystery partner for his match with Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins in the AOP, which turned out to be none other than The Big Show. He's someone we haven't seen in the ring for about 2 years. Next was the mystery of what is in Rowan's cage. Yeah, this storyline has been a dud so far, but this week the WWE moved it along, and hopefully the big reveal won't be another ending like the Higher Power or Who Tried to Kill Roman Reigns. Both had lackluster endings. Number 3, pacing the program. No, we're not talking about the pacing for Raw, which was all over the place, but the good job Raw did tonight continuing the Lashley, Lana Rusev, and don't forget Liv's storyline. You can't have off-the-wall weddings every week, so WWE slowed the pace a bit, building up next week's Rusev vs Lashley match with the added stipulation that Liv Morgan will be in Rusev's corner. The WWE could have hot-shotted things, but the match announcement was one way to bring viewers back next week. Number 4, a possible Drew McIntyre face turn. Now, we're not sure if McIntyre is actually a face now, but he seems to be more entertaining on the show these past few weeks. It's a good indication that he may get a babyface push and possibly even a chance to fight Lesnar at Mania. WWE has been sleeping on this guy for so long, so hopefully the time is now for him. And number 5, that opening match. Now, we're not going to just sit here and describe this match to you. You guys need to actually watch Raw and watch the opening segment between Rey Mysterio and Andrade. It was phenomenal. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, more filler. While the WWE gave the fans some things to look forward to last night, such as the 2 championship matches and the 6-man match with Joe and KO's mystery partner, there was a bit too much filler again. Rowan's match against Enhancement Talent was garbage, and even though Drew McIntyre's personality has been shining on the red brand, it was a waste giving him a match against No Way Jose. Does the WWE need to get either guy over with the WWE Universe, or are they waiting for a big storyline? Why does the WWE continue to treat its undercard as undeserving of engaging storylines when Raw has 3 hours to fill? Number 2, a weak build-up. While last night's show did a good job hyping the Men's Royal Rumble, the build-up for Becky Lynch vs Asuka was weak. Everyone knows by now that the Empress of Tomorrow has defeated Lynch before, but the WWE needs to raise the stakes with some sort of run-in or other angle to hype interest. And number 3, too little too late for the tag team division. Last night's triple threat tag match may have come too late to revive the Red Brand's tag roster, which has suffered from the Raw Tag Team Champions making infrequent title defenses and wrestling way too many squash matches. While it appears the WWE is booking the Viking Raiders as a dominant team now, it remains to be seen whether the fans are buying it after weeks and weeks of squash matches. But that was the good. The bad? What about the downright ugly? Last night's show had some excellent moments, including Brock Lesnar's surprise announcement, the surprise return of The Big Show, a solid opening match, and a wild brawl between Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black, all of which will be kinda meaningless if Murphy doesn't get a win over the Dutch Destroyer. As we stated earlier, Raw was all over the place, going from a hot segment to 2 or 3 cold segments that likely had fans looking for the remote. Tonight's show had its moments, but it's clear Raw is still suffering from gaps throughout the show as the writers seem unaware how to book a strong show from start to finish, particularly in the middle. But let's move on to Brock Lesnar and the real reason he's entering the Royal Rumble as champion. Now, the biggest shocker coming out of Raw this week is the announcement that Brock Lesnar will be presumably doing an Iron Man showing and entering at the #1 spot in the Royal Rumble. Even though for some reason the WWE on Fox account on Twitter thinks this moment is unprecedented, a champion entering the Royal Rumble is nothing new. Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage have both done it in the past, not to mention Roman Reigns, who did the exact same thing in 2016, entering as WWE Champion at #1. Not only that, but WWE hasn't addressed the issue that if Lesnar wins the Rumble and the title isn't on the line, is he excused from defending the belt at Mania? Does he just choose his own opponent? Well, plot holes aside, why have the WWE gone with this decision? Well, the odd booking decision seems to come from WWE still not having a solid plan for WrestleMania 36. Rumors have suggested they could have Brock face either Velasquez or Tyson Fury, but those rumors seem to have been nixed. There are many potential candidates on the Raw roster, but Brock has gone through them all like butter. Braun Strowman, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, etc. And any other potential like Kevin Owens seems to be tied up within another feud. WWE just has no direction on what to do with Lesnar. Consider this recent tweet by WrestleVotes, which shows just how unorganized the WWE has been this year. Talk to a source over the holidays who has been with WWE for 10 plus years, who said they can't remember a January where so little of the WrestleMania card has been decided upon. Said it's both refreshing as WWE is keeping multiple options open, but frustrating at the same time. Now, having Lesnar in the Rumble could also set up a number of dream matches down the line, as they could have the likes of Keith Lee potentially square up to Lesnar during the match, and WWE could listen closely to the reaction from the crowd. The Royal Rumble could ultimately serve as a test to see what could work for Mania, and any future feuds down the line. But ultimately, this could be the Rumble to decide 2 matches for Mania. #1, the person who eventually eliminates Lesnar, our money is on Drew McIntyre. They won't win it, but will have a feud with him at Mania. The wrestler to actually win the Rumble will face The Fiend, which will presumably be Roman Reigns. There you go, 2 matches, 2 storylines, no predictable squash at the Rumble. Everybody's happy. Why is our money on Drew though? Well, Drew McIntyre has had an interesting WWE career, going from a strong push as Vince McMahon's chosen one to being future endeavored in 2014. A 2017 return saw McIntyre win the NXT Championship and debut with a strong push on the main roster, with rumors that McIntyre was being positioned for a match against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35. That hasn't happened, but the Scottish psychopath has been repeatedly positioned in the upper card. Now, rumors are swirling again that McIntyre might be lined up against the Beast. According to Pro Wrestling Torch editor Wade Keller, McIntyre has been cracking jokes, and I think that Drew was definitely heading towards a babyface personality in the way he interacted with the crowd, but was a badass in the ring. So I think it may be testing the waters, or what if Paul Heyman told Drew to be a little looser, because Drew is wound so tight. Heyman could have said, "We want you to show a wider range." That could be step 1 of Paul hoping that fans cheer Drew and then go to Vince and say the fans are cheering Drew, so let's have him in the Rumble and face Brock Lesnar. Drew is one of the most phenomenal superstars on the Raw roster. A main event match at Mania for the WWE Championship? We'd definitely be all for that. Next up, WWE planning its next Saudi Arabia show? PW Insider reports the WWE is already planning its next big event in Saudi Arabia. At this point, there's no word on any matches, but expect to see matches involving WWE legends as Saudi Arabian officials' admiration for WWE legends is well known. While fans would like to know who will be wrestling, it's arguable fans are more interested in which wrestlers will refuse to go, particularly after the Crown Jewel debacle that saw a slew of WWE superstars and employees stranded or held against their will depending on whom you believe. Next up, Paige's big announcement. Paige has fans wondering whether she might return to the ring despite a series of neck injuries that forced her to retire in the ring back in 2018. Paige has been keeping busy in and out of the WWE, including the launch of her clothing line and cosmetics range. Nonetheless, a tweet from Paige has fans talking that she may return to the ring. "I have a whole lot of career left in me. 2020 will be a good year for me." And our last story, Matt Hardy's WWE move. Wrestling News' Paul Davis is reporting that Matt Hardy has been moved from the Raw roster to SmackDown, but there's no word on why. This is interesting news as it may have something to do with whether or not Matt stays with the WWE. As noted in our earlier news video, there's still time for Matt to re-up with the WWE, but according to PW Insider, Matt Hardy's current WWE deal expires on 1st March, so if he does not come to terms on a new deal, he will be free to appear anywhere on that date. Hardy has obviously been preparing for a potential exit with his release the delete videos online, and we are told that the major hurdle between the two sides is how he would be used going forward, not money. The chances of Matt being used well in the WWE seems unlikely considering how poorly they used his woken Matt Hardy character. Still, could a move to the blue brand suggest the WWE is listening to Matt? Would you like to see Matt stay in the WWE or go elsewhere? Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.